Brian, let's just start at the basics. Why would a company implement OneStream? What's the key benefits?
It's a great question. A lot of the things that we find with our clients when they're looking at OneStream as a potential solution is because they're running on older, outdated technologies and processes that no longer support what their business is today. A lot of that is sitting on top of Excel, very manual process, no oversight and no visibility or data integrity. And that's where a tool like OneStream is very beneficial for those companies. One of the other areas where we see...
Let me ask you, just diving into that a little bit more. When is it just good enough what they have in legacy systems versus what they might get out of OneStream?
I think the question there comes down to, are you able to get at the reporting out externally that you need to get out on a monthly basis in a timely manner without your team spending weeks pulling that data together? The concept of, implementing a system like OneStream is taking all of the effort your team is putting into gathering data and putting it into a format for you as an executive to review, and now putting that review and analytical capabilities on your team. So let the system pull the data together, your team can do some analysis on the data, and now you're presented with the results of that analysis and their inputs and insights that you can now layer yours on top of, instead of all of that insight coming from you as an individual.
So how does OneStream play in modernizing FP&A or the Office of the CFO function?
Yes, historically, FP&A and accounting have been siloed, very separate operations within the company, and also run differently as well as operating differently in terms of what the data is they're concerned with and that they want to see. OneStream is a tool that brings those two together and gives you one location for all of your data, both consolidations and planning based, which means you have the ability from a planning side of it to see into your actuals and your consolidated data. And from the accounting side of it, you can see into your FP&A and planning data, assuming security allows for it.
A lot of people think of FP&A and planning in terms of financial metrics, but what else are you seeing within OneStream?
I would say in the last 3 to 5 years, operational planning has become the forefront. Right. It historically started with, we wanted to work on our financial planning and FP&A, and we want to get that right size. We want to get it streamlined. And as OneStream has proven to be a great platform for that type of planning, like anything else, when you see something going well, you say, well, what else can I get out of it? And the questions continue to come in of, I need to pull in more detailed, more operational, more granular data to do analysis for our planning and get us more accurate in our financial planning by nailing down our operational plan.
Got it. What systems come in play when that happens?
Multiple systems. Every type of industry has different point solutions and different systems they're capturing data in. What makes OneStream unique is it can integrate with any system out there that has an open AI. You can integrate through a direct connect, and if necessary, you can load a flat file in. But OneStream can intake any data from any system, which allows you to integrate multiple systems from your different industry-specific technology stack into OneStream to help build up that operational plan.
As clients are on this journey, how does Riveron play a part in it?
It's a great question. One of the things that is very unique to Riveron that I genuinely appreciate is just the breadth of capabilities I have surrounding me every day. So while I'll come in to help with the client implement a OneStream solution, what I can bring to the table is tax experts, BPI experts, FP&A experts, accounting advisory experts to all help layer in their knowledge to the client to help them understand where they may have inefficiencies in their current process, where they may not be thinking about operational metrics they could be capturing, which helps them further, enable their business to be more successful. Those people that I can bring from around our firm are what separate us from the rest of the group.
Whoa, what does a common partner look like? And what's the biggest differentiator you see with us?
I think a typical OneStream implementation partner is focused on OneStream. They know how to implement OneStream. That is their focus. That's their expertise. And there's a time and a place for that. There's nothing wrong with it. But when you are a company that doesn't have the maturity level of some of the larger companies, and you're growing and you're trying to learn and you don't have that expertise in-house, a partner like Riveron gives you that expertise. You have someone to reach out to and ask questions to that has been in that seat, has been in that experience, and has some actual referenceable knowledge to it to say, this is what I would recommend you do in this situation.
Ryan, with the advancement of AI, what's happening in OneStream in terms of AI, its progress in the solution, and just enabling applications around?
Yeah, OneStream is not unique in the space in terms of focusing on AI and emphasizing the importance of AI adoption across not just their platform, but they know the clients are being pressured to implement AI solutions and enable their businesses and their teams to use AI more frequently. OneStream has been focused on enabling AI within their tool for years now. This is not something they have just decided recently they're going to get into. They've dipped their toe in years ago. It was Splash of 2023 in Washington, D.C., where they actually presented their initial AI agent that was able to take prompts directly in OneStream and, using the documentation within it, produce a result to the question you have. They've come a long way since then. So they have now introduced Sensible AI forecasting, which gives the clients the opportunity to feed data from multiple systems, just as OneStream does, into their AI solution and identify the proper targets and the proper models and the outputs that they're looking for. That's able to generate extremely accurate results. Some of the metrics that OneStream has been seeing across their platforms and their clients from a accuracy standpoint is upwards of 5 to 10% increase, if not more, in their AI-enabled forecasting versus your manual process.
What's the adoption been like in terms of companies adopting to Sensible AI, or asking about it, or where are they on their journey?
Yeah, it's funny because we get clients that ask every day of, we need AI enablement. What is OneStream going to offer? And our job as a partner is to make sure they're educated and understand what is that solution, what is it going to provide them, but more importantly, what do they need to have in place for that solution to be successful. And if we've done our job right, then they should already have an application in place. They've already got the data, some of the data they need captured. And if we're going down that path with them, we've already given them direction on, here's the data points based on your operational metrics, the things you're thinking you want to use this for. Here's the data points that are going to be important to that, and put them down that path of making sure that data is clean.
If a company is implementing OneStream right now, what would you encourage them to think about in terms of intersecting AI?
I think the number one thing any company can do right now is, one, taking a step back before you do any technology implementation and saying, is this process in place because of the technology we had, or is this process in place because it's the right process? Most often, it's the process in place to support the technology that you have in place today. That process will not and should not support the technology you're going to implement in the future. Having that correct process in place will naturally enable that AI capability by having the right data points available.
Well, Ryan, thank you. I've learned a lot here. And if you want more information, where can they find you?
Yeah, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn or find me at riveron.com.